Yeah.
It's a super interesting period where roles will change, role designs will change, how we engage, how we work, whether we're in a structured hierarchical system, whether we're in an organic fluid organization, whether we're skills based hiring and we're fully fluid and we're only working on projects the whole time, internal gig workforce, etc., right through to algorithmic managers and full on algorithmic strategic workforce planning. Like it's a fascinating period we're in.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's so much of a, yeah, if you start with managers, are they in jeopardy? But then assuming you're still in the hierarchical, structure and
Yeah.
you've just flattened it, uh, now that leader has many more people to, you're managing the people, you're managing some of the AI tools that are trying to help, a bandwidth perspective. Well, if I have to reschedule your one-on-one, but you need to talk, could you talk to this, AI tool or whatever? There are going to be some people that are comfortable with that if that is an option. And there's some people who are going to be like, no, like this is a nuanced, really sensitive, conversation. And me, Mr. and Mrs. Manager, and that you have the sensitivity and the empathy to deal with this situation. And I don't care how intelligent, this AI agent is, it's not a proper, which in some cases goes back to what we talked about before, which is, AI is for certain situations, but you shouldn't just deploy it because you can. You should deploy it because you should. Create use case is not going to create, backlash or jeopardize the human centricity of the effort overall.
I couldn't agree more. You made me think of an article I wrote. I want to say earlier this year, it might have been end of last year. I can't really remember, but it was around digital twins. If we fully went down the path of digital twins and your internal systems at work, they could record all your phone calls, they could record all your video, they can see all your output, they can see all your one-to-ones with your employees. They could probably make a fairly, even now, they could probably make a fairly decent facsimile of what you are as Toby in a given work environment. And I think you probably could have that as an AI powered sim that you could dial up or down on empathy or dial up or down, and you probably could, genuinely create something that would probably do a better job managing than I can do. Whether that's appropriate or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But also, who owns that? That's the bit where I get fascinated by is if I decide to do that off my own back and I run my own avatar and all my one-to-ones, suddenly it's with Gen AI powered avatar Toby. Should that be a company's IP? Should that be my IP? Is that one employee that gets paid if I run all my teams one-to-ones at the same time and I'm doing 10x output? Should I get 10x salary? Like, how does this work? How do we
Yeah.
operationalize it? But I don't think anyone's getting near those questions, and I think it's a really fascinating topic of productivity and performance management and output delivery of, well, actually, if I do have the power, same as a 10x engineer or a 100x engineer, like if I do have the power to turbocharge my output through the skills I've acquired and the tools I use, should I get 10x the salary or whatever the number is? Like,
Yeah.
how does this operationally work? And I don't think we're anywhere near addressing that stuff yet.
Think um, the success metrics and the way we incentivize people needs to be rethought. And it's a good example. You also just had me going off on a completely dystopian thought of forcing people to come into the office and then bringing them into these little rooms where they have their one-on-ones with a digital twin of while the manager's like, on, the eighth hole of the golf course. It's just wrong on so many
The
levels.
terrifying thing is you could imagine it happening. That's the terrifying thing in the
Yeah.
current world. I can
Oh,
totally see it happen.
I don't know if that's a Black Mirror episode or, the sequel to Office Space. I'm not quite sure.